Okay, everybody. Well, good morning and welcome to our first Brokers and Bagels on Zoom. My name's Pam Marin, and I am a loan originator in Florida and have been doing loans for the last 38 years. So first, let's explain what is Brokers and Bagels. Years ago, when the housing crisis was in full mode, a networking group comprised of mortgage brokers and mortgage affiliates or service providers to the mortgage industry met at a Panera Bread in Pinellas County. And this group it ended up becoming a think tank of good ideas and education that we had to learn at that time. And that we were just to stay in the mortgage business. But most importantly, this group kept us connected, and it was valuable for us to talk to others about how to do loans in a difficult time, and also be able to share with colleagues the things that we were going through at that time. The founder of Brokers and Bagels is Brian Ehrlich, who is the CEO and the general counsel of Innovative Mortgage Services, a mortgage company that has over 200 loan originators, and which I am a loan originator with. Brokers and Bagels then is what we hope that Brokers and Bagels on Zoom can become. A place where mortgage loan originators and mortgage industry professionals can unite, learn, and collaborate together. We're just meeting now on Zoom, but hopefully in the future, we'll be able to meet one day at a Panera Bread and be in person, just like it started years ago. Today's Zoom is called Demystifying DPA for Mortgage Professionals. Today, you're going to learn about a powerful tool called Down Payment Connect that makes the research of down payment assistance so much easier. You'll find out about the variety of down payment assistance options available to independent loan originators and some of the DPA providers that provide those programs. You'll find out, or you'll be introduced to resources that can help you compare the DPA programs, and you'll learn the best ways to promote that you're an expert in DPA to both your realtors and your clients. Towards the end of this presentation, we'll show you where this information will be stored and where you can get the resources that you'll see on today's webinar. And you'll also be able to find out about upcoming Brokers and Bagels on Zoom webinars. Now I'd like to introduce you to Sean Moss, the Executive Vice President of Down Payment Resource, who's going to tell you about this invaluable tool called Down Payment Connect. So Sean, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I did want to add something. I just told Sean I have nothing to add, and then I wanted to add. So that's kind of how I guess I do business. But Pam, are we recording this, or is there a way that we can record this?
We are.
Yes.
Okay, we are recording. Okay, thank you very much.
And for those of you that don't know, this is Andrew Cascella, the Vice President of Innovative Mortgage Services. And I believe that we also have Brian Ehrlich, the CEO and General Counsel of Innovative, on the platform as well.
I'm here and I'm thrilled to be a part of this, and thank you for putting this together.
Thank you. Thank you. You brought Brokers and Bagels to many of us, and it was an invaluable group, and we can only hope to make it as good as it was when you started it, Brian.
I have no doubt you will, and I do look forward to us making this into something more, or making it into something that it was again.
Thank you. Andrew?
I'm excited. I can't wait to get this information out. I had a couple of people ask me to make sure I took notes, and hopefully it was recorded, because they had some things they had to do, but there's been a lot of good feedback. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Sean, take it away.
Okay, good deal. Well, thank you, Pam. So first thing I want to do is just let everybody know that you can go to downpaymentresource.com anytime and do a search for programs anywhere in the country. We track and monitor all of the homebuyer assistance programs from state HFAs, municipalities, nonprofits, as well as wholesale lenders that offer DPA products to brokers. And anybody can go to downpaymentresource.com and do a search anywhere in the country. I won't walk through the entire search, but Mel, if you don't mind, maybe put a link to downpaymentresource.com in the chat. But you don't have to have an address, or your client doesn't have to have an address in mind. If you just want to search in a city or a county, you can do that. Start to find out how many programs are out there. If you're an originator, you can start to account for things like estimated purchase price. We will weigh that against the purchase price limits of the programs available in that area where you're searching for help for your client. We can also account for things like household size and income, home ownership history. There are plenty of programs out there that do not have a first-time home buyer requirement, expanding the potential audience for these down payment assistance programs. Likewise, there are in many markets programs for veterans or those on active duty, those in certain professions, commonly called hero professions, so education, law enforcement, first responders, healthcare. So you can account for all of that and view the results of your search at any time. That's free. Anybody can go to downpaymentresource.com and do a search. What we're focused on here today is our unique tool called Down Payment Connect. So I'm going to throw a link to Down Payment Connect in the chat. Let me make sure this goes to everybody. There's a link to Down Payment Connect. Oh, Mel just put it in there too. So this is a package of tools, or a suite of tools that we've built for real estate agents, and more importantly for loan officers, that includes a little more functionality than it would for the real estate agent. So let's take a look at this Down Payment Connect tool for loan officers. And then I'm going to walk you through what you get with this tool, but I'm going to spend about 10 minutes showing you how your peers around the country have introduced the topic of down payment assistance to their prospective buyers. So forget for a moment the Down Payment Connect tool. One of the important things we need to do is let more and more buyers know that there are solutions out there for the down payment hurdle. We know that rates are higher, affordability is tight, we know the inventory is tight, but we also know, and we've been hearing this in study after study from the GSEs, MBA, and so on and so forth, that the down payment is by and large, or more often than not, the biggest obstacle that buyers face. And many aspiring buyers still think they have to have 20% down to consider home ownership. So we all know that's not true, but we need to make sure that we're surfacing the opportunities or the path to home ownership for a lot of these buyers that are credit and income qualified, but they need help over that down payment hurdle. So Down Payment Connect gives you tools to assist you with that, but we don't even have to have Down Payment Connect to talk about DPAs with buyers. So I'm going to mix both here. So Down Payment Connect is a package of tools that gives you a lead generation landing page. That is a landing page where the consumer can search for help where they want to buy a home. And they connect directly to and exclusively to you. These are your leads. You are licensing Down Payment Connect. The leads that you get from your landing page are yours. I'll show you that consumer experience, which is sort of the crux of Down Payment Connect, but it comes with a number of other tools. You get a directory of all of the DPA programs available in your state, including detailed guidelines and eligibility information about each of those programs. I'm going to show you the various ways you can filter through that data to find new opportunities or to identify those programs that you already participate in or offer. You also get a number of back office tools, including just sort of a back office DPA eligibility search with comparison options and program details and more. And it is a subscription tool. So here are some of the features you get as a loan officer. Everyone gets the landing page to generate leads. I'm going to show you probably 10 or 12 different ways that your peers are using that on landing pages, Facebook posts, blogs, and so forth. We'll get to that in a minute. But for loan officers, you get that directory of all programs, including access to their guidelines. You control which programs display to the consumer when they are searching for help, based on the programs you have access to or participate in. And then you get some back office lookup tools and comparisons. The tool is $39 per month per state. There is an annual subscription to save you some money. Now, let me first show you the consumer experience if they are using your Down Payment Connect page. So they come to, however you get them to this page, and I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways to do that. They are searching for down payment help where they want to buy a home. Now, again, they may not have an address in mind. They may be pretty early stage. In fact, often they will be. They won't have a contract in place. They won't have a specific address, but maybe they know that they want to live in, let's say, Hillsborough County, or maybe they've narrowed that down to Tampa. They know they want to live in Tampa, so I'm just going to go with Tampa for a minute. The consumer starts their search. We can see that there are 22 programs, or however many you offer. That number is going to be based on what you have identified in Down Payment Connect that you participate in. So that number might be 2 or 7 or 30. It depends on what you offer. But the consumer can then, if they want to, enter some additional information. So let's say they're looking at a $400,000 home in Tampa. Well, you can see we started to exceed purchase price limits for some of those programs that you offer. But if we drop the price to $350,000, we've got a few more programs and so on as we drop the price. We can also account for property type. So what if they want to expand their inventory options and they want to look at 2-unit properties? Well, we lose a few programs, but there are still plenty of DPAs that will allow duplexes and so on for 3 and 4-unit properties. What about household size and income? Let's say it's a household of 4 making $76,000. That exceeded the income limits for one program. If we go up to $95,000, whoops, we start to exceed the income limits of more programs, but there's still plenty of opportunity left. Or if that's a single person, maybe that number changes again because it can be based on household size. And then home ownership history. The buyer might come here and say, well, I currently own a home. There can't be any help for me, right? Turns out there may well be. It depends on what's in your market. But we will account for home ownership history, including the 3-year rule. You're a first-time home buyer for the purpose of down payment assistance if you've not owned a home in the last 3 years. So if we owned a home, but it was more than 3 years ago, or within the last 3 years, we're going to account for that difference. And then military status. If you offer, for example, Hometown Heroes in Florida, you're going to see more options pop up based on military service. Likewise, there are certain professions for which there may be additional opportunities. If you offer those programs, excuse me, the consumer will see those. Here's what happens next, though. The idea, and literally the name of the product, Down Payment Connect, is to connect that consumer to you to continue this conversation about these programs that may be out there to help them. So we're not going to show them the list of those 2 or 5 or 23 down payment assistance programs, but we'll tell them how many options there may be for them and how many dollars they might get from those programs. But they're going to fill out this form, and that's going to email a lead directly to you and only you. It's your tool, so the lead goes to you, and it's going to give you their contact information, tell you where they were looking to buy a home, and show you the programs that they got or that they came up with in their search. So if I were to submit this form, I'm going to get a thank you page. I'm still not going to see any list of programs. Now that just fired off a lead to the originator, me in this case, and it also now sent an email confirming that search to the consumer. That's the first time they're going to see the names of any programs, but that's it. The names of the programs, no links to any third party, no additional information except your contact info. So that's the consumer experience. Before I show you how your peers around the country are using this tool, or even more broadly, just leveraging the topic of down payment assistance to engage with and educate more buyers, let me show you what you get when you license Down Payment Connect. So here's your dashboard. There's the consumer facing link. Now that's mine. Don't go use that. That's going to send everything to me. Yours will be at the top of the page if you subscribe to Down Payment Connect. There's an overview of the consumer workflow, but I already showed you that. You can report on just sort of aggregate numbers. So it's not like a CRM. The leads aren't being posted here. The leads get emailed to you, but you can run reports to see the kind of activity that your page is getting. How many people came to it? How many people completed a search? How many leads did I get? So you might want to compare that to like a Facebook campaign you ran at the same period and see how your page performed during that campaign. But I want to focus on the directory and the eligibility lookup. Those are the 2 tools that are unique to the loan officer with Down Payment Connect. So the directory is 2 things. This is your research tool to see what's out there. Now I've got Florida loaded here. There are a lot of programs in Florida, but part of what this tool does is help you filter through that. The other thing this tool does, as you can see on the far right, is allow you to identify those programs that you have access to, that you participate in, that your wholesale partners will buy from you, that you can originate. So if you don't want a consumer to see the Broward County programs or the Bradford SHIP, turn them off. And by default, they're all off. So the first thing you have to do is come in here and approve programs that you participate in. But let's say you do have a wholesale partner that will take that Bradford County SHIP program. If you originate it, then click on this button, approve that program, and it's checked off. Only those checked off programs are going to be counted up in a consumer search. If you have not approved it, as in you don't offer that program, the consumer's never going to see it. So in that manner, you control what the consumer sees based on the products that you have access to. Now, how do you find more of those products? Let's open up the filters here. You can filter geographically. So I could break this down to, I was looking at Hillsborough County. So let's continue with that example for a moment. And I can just update my filter to Hillsborough County. So instead of over 200 programs across all of Florida, now I'm looking at the 53 that are available in Hillsborough County. Now I might want to break that down further. Where are those standalone community seconds? Or do I want to see Florida housing and take a look at the bond programs and the Hometown Heroes program? Or do I want to see some of these broker DPA products? Are you working with AFR? Do you want to use their DPA Advantage? Are you working with Click and Close? Do you want to use their program? Are you working with Equity Prime? They've got a program. We can scroll down the list. Orion, their Boost, and their Shinoa. So all those broker DPAs are in here too. Salidas House, a great program across most of the state. And then you've got programs like, let's find, excuse me, let's find, well, I'll tell you what, let's filter. So you can go directly to, let's say we want to look at that Salidas House. Just start typing a keyword in the program name field, update your filter, and you've now weeded out all of the other programs, and you're going straight to the specific one that you were looking for. And then I'll show you how we pop in the details and what kind of program detail you get. But let's use a few other filters here. Let's look at provider type. Maybe I just want to see those Florida Housing Finance programs, the State Housing Finance Agency. I'm just going to filter by provider type, update my filter, and now I'm going to see the entire roster of programs from your State Housing Finance Agency, in this case, Florida. And then you can scroll through and take a look at what those programs are. What are they offering? And then at the far right, approve the ones that you have access to. So let's look at a few more filters, and then I want to show you the program details, the detailed guidelines that you have access to for all of these programs to help you not only learn about them or learn more about them if you're finding new opportunities, but also to keep track of them as they evolve. Which, by the way, is what we are doing. We just show you the evolution of the program and the current guidelines on the screen. And we even show you how it's evolved over time so that you don't have to worry about tracking and monitoring the details of the program. Let us do that work for you. And you can just access current guidelines and focus on originating and solving for the down payment or obstacle. So we can also filter by program type. If you want to find seconds, you want to find grants. I do want to take a moment here to clarify. We do very carefully distinguish a second lien from a grant. In our system, it is only a grant, despite how loosely that word gets used. It is only a grant if it is a gift at closing. Now, if it's forgivable over time, that's actually a second lien. And that brings me to what's the difference between a repayable second, a soft second, a silent second, and a grant. So there's really 4 types of repayment structures. A grant is a true gift. Repayable means you've got a monthly payment when you close, just like the first mortgage. But there are down payment assistance programs that will defer payments, which, by the way, you can filter on. So if you want to find those programs that defer payments, meaning you close, you've got your mortgage, and you've got your down payment assistance as a loan, it is a second lien on the property, it is a second loan, but there's no monthly payment for some period of time or for the life of the loan. Those are deferred payments. Some programs are, and by the way, more than 70 or 80% of DPAs are deferred. And then more than half are forgivable. That means that it's not a grant at closing, but over time, so incrementally, let's say 20% per year for 5 years, or at some point in the future, meaning if they stay in the home for 10 years as their primary residence, at the end of the 10th year, that down payment assistance debt is forgiven. That loan is forgiven. So you can also filter for those repayment characteristics. You can find programs that are actively funded and available. We track funding status. Do they have money right now? You can also find programs by eligible channel. So if you're a broker and you want to find programs that are available to you as a broker, check wholesale and filter accordingly. You've got other filters here. I won't go through all of them, but first-time home buyer, yes, no. Or do you want to find those hero programs? You can find programs for target audiences. You can find programs that do or do not have income limits. You can find programs for very specific property types. For example, multifamily. So do you need DPAs that allow 2, 3, or 4 unit properties? You can easily find those. Or maybe you're looking for programs that allow DPA for manufactured homes. You can come in here and select that, condo, whatever you need. So there are a lot of different ways to find programs. Now, let me show you the program details. Let's hop into one of these that we have pulled up. So Hometown Heroes has been very popular. Let's open up that program. So this is the sort of interactive DPA matrix that you have access to as part of the Down Payment Connect subscription. You can find these programs and then you can open up the details and learn a lot, get a ton of information about them. The overview tells you the basics. What is the program name, links to the program provider's contact information, and website resources, guidelines, flyers, seller guide, matrix, product guides, and so forth. How can the money be used? How is it funded? Then we get to program terms. How is the assistance calculated? How is it repaid? Is it deferred? Is it forgivable? Is it interest bearing? Borrower eligibility, first-time homebuyer requirement, occupancy requirements, income limits, buyer contribution, cashback allowances, ratio, FICO. I know I'm going fast here, but I'm rattling off sort of the key topics here that would be of interest. Homebuyer education class, is it required? If so, how do you meet that requirement? Then we get to property eligibility. Where is the program available? Up to what price? For how many units? For what types of properties? Closing requirements. In whose name does it close? Are there any unique closing documents or requirements you need to be aware of? Links are available if there's anything we can link you to. Post-closing, what information goes to whom? And now this may not be necessarily applicable to you as a broker, but what information goes to whom by what means after closing? And then we have servicing information, who's the master servicer, disclosure information, fee information, what fees are required, allowed, or prohibited for that program, and information about the program provider, including lender participation requirements. I also mentioned you can watch the evolution of a program. You have access to all the work we're doing. You can see how we are tracking and monitoring these programs. So here was a big update recently. You can see the old value and the new value. What did it used to be? What was it when we changed it? So all of that information is available for any program. If I go back to the list and find something that's maybe not a state housing finance agency, let's look for a program in Florida from, let's say, a municipality. And we want to see funded available programs. Let's update our filter and we'll get a list of active city programs. Let's go to City of Clearwater DPA. So again, same information, right? If we go to program terms, we can see that we can get $45,000. They will take third lien position. It's a 20-year loan, soft second with deferred payments, no balloon payment. So we expect that it's going to be forgivable, and it is. It's half of it is forgiven after 20 years of owner occupancy. Now that's going to be different for every program, but that's sort of the point of this tool is we give you all that information so that you don't have to track and monitor that. You just come in here and figure out what that program looks like. If you have access to it, check it off on the right side here. And I'll check this one off, Boynton Beach, ship, approve. Now a consumer is going to see that in their search. So that's the directory. And that's, again, access to all of the details of all the programs across your state. In the eligibility lookup, you can do the same searches that a consumer can. You just don't have to worry about the contact form and you get more information in the detailed view. So let's say I run a search in Tampa. I've got a borrower sitting in front of me. I want to do a quick search. I think I've got them approved at 325. It's a couple, and together they make 87,000. So, okay, I've got my search ready here. Let's take a look at what they might have access to that I can originate for them. I can go look at my programs. I can compare them. So I'm going to select a few here. We'll look at a state program. We'll look at Shinoa. We'll look at a broker DPA. And let's get something like a municipal program. Don't have one here. So here, let's compare our programs. And you can see in the comparison, program type. What am I looking at? A second, a grant. Where do I have price flexibility? Here, I don't even have price limits. Where can I get the most money? Where do I have income flexibility? There are no limits for these ones. Minimum buyer contribution, and do they have to take a class? In this case, only if they're a first-time home buyer. Here, it's recommended but not required. And for these other two, it's required. So you can take a longer list of programs that your client may be eligible for and break that down to the best available option. So a couple more things about Down Payment Connect. We do also give you marketing resources. You're going to see some of this in a minute as I go through kind of best practices for promoting down payment assistance. So I'm going to click on this page here. We've got graphics packages, video tutorials, customizable flyers. So here are some of the graphics. You'll see these in the examples I'm going to show you here in a second. We've also got a number of graphics formatted for various social media platforms. Some really cool stuff here. We encourage you to use them. They're here for you to improve the presentation of down payment assistance information to consumers, whether it's on social media, your website, your blog, your email marketing, your email signature. We have customizable flyers. You can use these. The bottom right quadrant of each of these is customizable so that you can add your contact information, your Down Payment Connect link. You can use these as takeaways or as homework for new clients. Hand them that and say, all right, there you go, do a search or email this to a new client, use it as part of an email campaign, educate them about DPAs, and give them a path to find down payment help where they want to buy a home. That's the point of Down Payment Connect. And then you've also got some additional information here, access to our education and our private Facebook group. This is called Down Payment Insiders. So I'm going to flip to that real quick. This is a group of over 12,000 or over 11,000. You can see there's over 11,000 members here that are by and large real estate agents and originators. With some DPA providers, there are some counselors in this network, but this group is dedicated to sharing stories, challenges, best practices, solutions, and successes with regard to down payment assistance programs, working with first-time home buyers. We also see a lot of networking between agents and originators. Real estate agents are desperate for help from loan officers who know these programs. That is by far the most common question we get from real estate agents in any and all training we do, is how do I connect with a lender who can help me with these down payment programs? This is a place to go find some of those agents all over the country and connect with them. Let them know, as Pam said, that you are a DPA expert, you have these products available, and you're ready, willing, and able to help those agents with down payment assistance. And I'll clarify, we tell agents, you're really looking for a loan officer that meets 3 criteria. First of all, they have down payment assistance products. Second of all, they're good at originating DPA loans. And third, they want that business. There are a lot of loan officers out there that don't want to get their feet wet with DPA. That's not the loan officer that a lot of agents are looking for. They're looking for the loan officer that has access to DPA, is good at originating them, is going to close on time, pick up the phone, call the seller, go to bat for the borrower, and they want that business. They want to strike a partnership. They want to grow their purchase pipeline with first-time home buyers. So we encourage you to join Down Payment Insiders. I see that Mel put a link in the chat. So go grab that link and feel free to join that group, listen in, share, chime in, network, whatever floats your boat. So let's go back to your Down Payment Connect dashboard. You've got your link. That's what we're going to focus on here for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to show you how your peers around the country are using this link creatively, successfully, and educating and engaging with new buyers, more buyers. So let's do that. Let's switch gears here. I showed you the consumer experience. Now this is where the consumer does their search. They find programs, but they go to the contact form. And I'm sorry, it's the wrong flow. But anyway, they go to the contact form, and let me log out of the Down Payment Connect piece here. All right, so let's start simple. Here's, this is a broker, mortgage broker. I've cracked the code to home ownership. Down payment assistance is available. Saving for a home is difficult, but don't do it alone. There's a solution to help you get started. Great copy. And you're going to see all kinds of examples of good copywriting. And this is simple, right? It's just a few sentences. We go down here. I'm a loan officer. I've learned that there's a ton of down payment help out there. Lots of programs in Florida. See if you qualify. There's the call to action. So I click on this, and I'm going to Andre's Down Payment Connect page. Great presentation, great graphics, good copy, just a few simple sentences, obvious call to action. And it goes on too. He's got all kinds of information about down payment assistance, eligibility criteria. So it's a very creative educational page. Great idea. Here's an example of a very simple page, kind of the opposite. This is it. This is the whole page, right? But it's super simple to make. It's a creative page. It looks good. Great splash page, great destination page, maybe for like a Facebook post or something like that. Down payment programs are available. Click the link, answer questions, discover your options. Here's the link. Click on that, and we go to the Levinson team's Down Payment Connect page. Anything I do here goes to Tara and only Tara. And then we have, here's a team in Florida. Super simple. And this is how simple it can be. You could just post the link on Facebook. I'll show you that in a second. But here's the website navigation menu. Under buy, they've got a down payment assistance option. And that's it. There's nothing else on the page, right? But it can be that simple. Just a super easy way to give consumers, one, the knowledge that these programs are out there by offering this link, and two, a path to a solution for them. So website navigation, add a link, down payment assistance, that goes directly to Brandy's Down Payment Connect page. Anything the consumer does here is going to Brandy and only Brandy because it's her Down Payment Connect page. So here's an example. This is another mortgage broker. So quick little article, making homeownership more affordable. She's got a paragraph here, some content. And again, I'm showing you all different kinds of examples here, not to say that one's better than the other, just to say that here are many ways that your peers have used Down Payment Connect, but more importantly, are talking about down payment assistance. They're putting the message out there that, hey, if you're income and credit qualified, don't give up. Don't ignore my emails. Call me. Let's have a conversation. And to incentivize you to do so, here's a search that you can do to find down payment help where you want to buy a home. Don't have an address in mind? That's cool. Search by city. What city do you want to live in? And we'll figure it out. But start somewhere. That's the message to the consumer. Now, this page goes on to basically offer like an FAQ style educational experience here. What are DPAs? They explain it. How do you look for DPAs? Who can qualify? What are the benefits? Down payment money's out there. See if you're eligible. There's the call to action again. And by the way, I skipped over this. The graphic up here, that's also a link to her Down Payment Connect page. So we click on that. We're on Teresa's Down Payment Connect page, and we start our search. So let's look at Roshana. Now, this is up in the DMV, DC, Virginia, Maryland area. What she did here on her home page is if we scroll down, she's got her resources: buy, sell, finance, certified realtor, home values, down payment assistance. So if we click on that, and that's it, right? But she's calling out in a pretty obvious way. I mean, it looks nice because it's in line with the format of the rest of the website. It's a big button. Instead of the site navigation, we scroll down and see what kind of resources Roshana has. Click on down payment, and we're on her Down Payment Connect page. And again, Anything that happens here is going to Rashana and only Rashana. It's her down payment connect page. Here's another simple one, Sacramento. And I'm purposely moving around the country to show you that these programs are everywhere. The topic of down payment assistance is critical everywhere, and that your peers are using Down Payment Connect everywhere, or having success with down payment assistance as a topic and engaging consumers in every market. This is Sacramento. So they've got some information here about turning Sacramentans into first-time home buyers. Love that message. It's a buyer's market. What does that mean? How can we help? So we scroll down. Here's how we build you up. Credit restoration. Okay, they can help with that. Down payment resources. And then they go on to explain a little bit more about their team. But what I skipped is, here's the down payment tool. So again, top navigation, right? Just right there on the top of the website, along with all the other basic website navigation components, there's a link to their down payment tool. Click on that, and there's Keisha's down payment page. Everything goes to Keisha. A couple more examples here. This is in, I don't even know where this is. Let me see this. Wherever this is, cool page. Down payment assistance, great splash page. I'm not sure you can get that house with down payment assistance. Nonetheless, great idea here. So big header, and then we've got just a little bit of content. Down payment assistance programs are available. To see if you qualify, click here. A little bit more information, another call to action. Either way, click on it, and I'm on Mindy's Down Payment Connect page. And again, she's a broker as well. And I'm not going to keep saying this, but everything goes to Mindy, right? So these leads are exclusive leads just for you. Now, this is one of our favorites. This is a real estate team in Richmond, Virginia. Under Guide to Buying a Home, they've got a down payment assistance page. Here, they've created this video. Now, we have some video content you can use, but they produced their own video. And this page goes on to talk a lot about down payment assistance. And you'll also notice there are links to their Down Payment Connect page woven into this educational content. So there's a link, we'll see another one down below. But who qualifies for down payment assistance? What are the criteria? Finances, home ownership history, profession. This graphic is another link to their Down Payment Connect page. Sale price, geography. Bottom line, down payment assistance criteria can vary, so investigate your options. Love it. Tons of educational content here, several calls to action to get them into the Down Payment Connect search, and it'd be a great destination page. Simple Facebook post, go here to learn more, let them self-educate, excuse me, and connect to you through a down payment search. Very similar example. This is in Seattle, and they've added some educational content here. Now, you've seen the Down Payment Connect search several times. What they did was just add this. It's actually under Advice for Buyers, Down Payment Assistance. So when I show you this stuff too, think about your website. What does it look like? Where do you have space for this? Where can you add something in your navigation? Do you have the capacity to build out a new page with educational content like this? And these are just examples of what it might look like. But they've got some educational content about DPAs, and then they just embedded the search form right into their website. So you don't even leave that page. You do your search and you connect to Gerhard. A couple more quick examples. Here's a blog. Do you have a blog? If so, you're always looking for fresh content. This team did a blog post about DPAs. We've got links to Down Payment Connect here. You see some of our graphics being used. A little bit of educational content. What is down payment assistance? They used some of our video. And I love this. This is so simple. This is exactly what we want. 4 steps. Click the button, enter your info, get your results, call me. That's what we want. That's literally what we want them to do, broken down to its simplest form. And there's another big call to action. There's the button to click, do your search, and connect with that, in that case, real estate agent. Facebook, I'll show you one example here. Simple Facebook post. Down payment money's out there. Let's find it. Use my Down Payment Connect page to figure it out. Here's the link. Off to the races. Do your search, connect back. We start the conversation. So those were tons of examples of how your peers are using, again, not just Down Payment Connect, not here just to sell you Down Payment Connect. They're talking about DPA. They're educating buyers. They're engaging with more new qualified eligible buyers or helping many of them realize that homeownership may actually be within reach if you connect with me and we have a serious, candid conversation about cash to close and how to solve for it. So with that, Pam, I am going to pull up clients to homeowners and pass it to you for a few minutes.
Okay, great presentation, Sean. All right, well, this is now bringing you back, and you can take off the registration. People are already here. This is bringing you back to where all of this valuable information is going to be stored. While we're teeing up for down payment assistance scenarios as well, for any of you that have a scenario that you would like to have Sean do a live demo on to see how we can filter it out. And these are for, we've got the Florida DPA up now. So this would be for Florida. Go ahead and put it in the chat, and the group will do their best to get you the correct DPA that's available in the state. But basically what we want to do is show you a couple of things here. This is the clientstohomeowners.com website. This site was made for loan originators to help them share, learn, collaborate, and grow. And there's basically two things that loan originators can find here. Either you can learn how to work through client issues yourself, and we've got a tab there that says how to for MLOs, and that provides you education. This is fast moving too. You know, we've got things coming up that we need to know about, and we're putting how to do's for loan originators on here weekly. The other thing that we have is, and this is coming soon, we will be having a home prep portal available for loan originators. And what home prep is it's a platform that IndieSoft has made that will connect loan originators and their clients who need a little bit of help getting mortgage ready to HUD housing and credit counselors to get that client mortgage ready for you, and then that client can come back to you. Home prep will be available probably after June. That's to be determined, but we're going to have a webinar in June that will explain to you how you can use home prep. So basically you've got two ways here. You can either work through issues yourself using tools under the how-to for MLOs, or you can work with home prep and connect to HUD credit and housing counselors that can help in these areas of down payment assistance, student loan, debt refinancing, credit help, whether it's short or long-term credit needs, and home budgeting for all of them. The other thing that we wanted to show you is under brokers and bagels. We're going to have the resources on the tab for that month's brokers and bagels on Zoom. And if we can open this one up here, I'll show you how this works. Basically, we're going to have the call to action if you want to sign up for the webinar. And then we've further down, we're going to go right into, after this, I believe we've got the, keep going there. Yeah. Okay, we've got, this is where we're breaking out the wholesalers that have down payment assistance. And there's 4 different, and not just wholesalers, but DPA providers. So these 4 areas are down payment assistance that mortgage brokers or independent mortgage loan originators can use. You've got your combined first and second down payment assistance, where the origination and the underwriting is done all at one wholesaler. Then you've got first mortgages that allow DPA to be added to their first mortgage, like the UWMs and PennyMacs. And then the third is, in Florida, we've got the Hometown Heroes, bonds, and TBA products. And we're going to continue to add to these lists as we find more of the wholesalers that provide these. And then the fourth is unique down payment assistance program providers. And Salita's house out of Tampa, they can do down payment assistance for conventional loans all over the state of Florida. They also have renovation available as the down payment assistance, and there's no income cap. So as we get more of these programs in, we're going to put them on these 4 different areas of DPA. And also Sean showed you the comparison grid that showed, I think it was 5 different areas that Down Payment Connect can already compare your programs with. Down Payment Connect in the near future is going to be coming out with a more robust comparison. But until then, if we go scroll a little bit lower than this, this is a guide to how a loan officer can use Down Payment Connect. And what happened is I spoke with the gentleman that made this site, Justin Babcock, and I told him how Down Payment Connect works. And what he did is he wrote down the directions and the links of where you need to go. Further, we made a DPA mortgage matrix that compares the programs, just a simple Excel comparison. But what we did is we put the most important stuff that you need to have on that matrix. And you all have seen the directory page for each of those DPAs. They're consistently in the same order. So you can, go in, you'll get familiar with, okay, here's where the income is. Here's, where I can find out if they need to be a first-time home buyer or not. All of the information we've got on these Excel DPA comparison matrices, and that follows right below this. If you go further down on this, there's a blank matrix and an example matrix, and then the connection to Down Payment Connect. Also, there is an article that you'll see here. It's under the blogs, and it is called Down Payment Connect is a Game Changer for Mortgage Loan Originators. This was my path through Down Payment Connect. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you're going to see I've got pictures on here of the unusually, incredibly invaluable information you need. Down Payment Connect keeps up to date with these programs on a monthly basis. If you see that, if you go into Down Payment Connect and you see that a program is inactive, they've already figured that out for you. You don't have to go scouring the website to find this out. And then further down, this grid right here is the most valuable stuff that is on the Excel matrix for you to do a DPA comparison with. And it's just little notes of things that you can be aware of that are very helpful for those areas. So I think that's it for this article, but that is also connected on the site. And if we can go back down to the DPA webinar, and let's see, keep going on down. Okay, this is most important. I did not know this at the beginning, and I found it out the hard way. The qualifying income levels for down payment assistance can be different. Most down payment assistance is figured on the HUD income levels, not the Fannie Mae and the Freddie Mac income levels that you're used to seeing, that are, that we all see, the 80% and the 100%. So what we've done here is we've given you the links. First of all, when you look at the Down Payment Connect, the first thing you want to do is go to the income levels and see exactly what they're using. Usually the income levels are right there. The biggest difference is that the HUD income limits are going to go by the family size, and they are not the same as the Fannie Mae and the Freddie Mac income limits. The Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac income limits are the person who's applying for the loan, and you can have a husband and wife, and for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they may only require that one of those husband and wife be the borrower to be able to qualify for the down payment assistance. But this is giving you those directions. And if you go down a little bit further, we've got the HUD income limits, Fannie Mae income lookup tool, and the Freddie Mac income and property eligibility tool. The information you've seen right above is the very first page of each of these links to income. And then it goes right into where you can go to find the HUD income limits and how you can figure it out by family size. Same thing for the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, where you can find the income limits. And then any income limits that are over 100%, at the bottom here, how to calculate income levels above 100% for all mortgage types. I've just put that in there, how you basically take the 100% income levels for Fannie or Freddie, or the area median lookup, or the area median income for HUD, and you multiply that times the percentage of income that your program, your down payment assistance program, will allow you to go over 100%. That's how it's figured. So I wanted to let you know, a lot of these ideas that came here came from loan originators. Jason Gonzalez with Innovative Mortgage, he brought up about the comparison, and Gil Barber also with Innovative Mortgage. We were figuring this income level. So there's a lot of questions about down payment assistance, and what this tool does is it takes a lot of that searching across websites to look for the information. It takes that away. I think we're set with this information. Just remember, clients2homeowners.com is for you, loan originators, to get the information you need. And what we would like you to do as loan originators is, if you've got any topics that you would like to talk about in the future, we'd love to have you send that information to us. That's at clients2homeowners@gmail.com. And lastly, what I'd like to tell you is what's coming up next. We've got a May 24th Brokers and Bagels on Zoom, and we're going to have an outside of the box best ideas narrated by Daniel Hughes, who's the owner of Bayport Lending. And ideas from other loan originators are going to be asked for, so be prepared to engage. And that's going to be May 24th at 11 o'clock on the second Brokers and Bagels on Zoom. The next Brokers and Bagels on Zoom, if you put this on your calendar, June 21st, we're going to be introducing the home prep platform to loan originators. So June 21st at 11 a.m., put that on your calendar as well. And Sean, I think we're ready to start filtering through the DPA examples.
Okay, good deal. So I'll do this a couple of ways. First way is I'm gonna log into the Down Payment Connect dashboard, and we got a few scenarios here. Susan, I'm gonna start with yours. You actually had a specific address, income, and household size. So let's go to our eligibility lookup, and let's plug in the information that Susan gave us. So she had a specific address for a client. Hang on, this is a long address. 16734 Mooner Plank Circle, and then the zip was 33598. 33598. Okay, so we've got our address. We don't need a general search. We don't need a city or county because we just map the address. So let's see, didn't see a price in there. Not going to mention the buyer's name. Single family home, I assume. And you said 4 kids. So I'm going to go with household of 5. And let's assume they're a first-time home buyer, but Susan, clarify that if I'm wrong. So we'll say never owned a home, and household income, you said $6,500 a month. Okay, so hold on, let me get my calculator. So we're gonna put in annual here. So now this is what you would be doing back office, right? So 6,500 times 12, 78,000 a year. So we're gonna plug in the annual income. Okay, no veteran, no educator. All right, now remember this number 20 is for my demo mode based on the programs I approved or that I have access to. That's going to be different for you, but that's how you would plug in the scenario, get the details. There's the 20 programs or however many you have access to. And in that manner, you can see the results. There's, there are state opportunities, broker DPAs, Shinoa, more broker DPAs. Let's see if there's any municipal programs. There's a local housing finance agency in Hillsborough County. They've got a home sweet home program. Salita's house comes up. They've got a couple opportunities. Then you've got affordable first mortgages, just the mortgage product itself, which is going to be typically from your state HFA. And you have some mortgage credit certificates locally in Florida. The state doesn't offer one, but there are some local housing finance agencies that offer mortgage credit certificates. Those are a very unique value add. We love them. We wish there were more of them. There have been in the past. We'll see the interest rates in the secondary market haven't been MCC friendly lately, but that may change in the future. Let's see. Susan Ross said price was $422. Let's go back. So yes, they are first-time home buyer price. Now that might be a little high, $422. Let's see what that does. That does reduce some of the programs. And then you go back to the details and you say, okay, well, we still got a lot of programs, but that price exceeded the limits of some of those opportunities. So let's see. We've got another scenario here. Let me go back up the chat. Right after Susan submitted that, Ignacio, you submitted a scenario as well. So let's use this eligibility lookup tool and let's plug this in. We've got 2838 Northwest 4th Court, Pompano Beach 33069. 33069. There's 15 programs. Let's see, income 48K. First-time home buyer, don't have a price. So let's see, first-time home buyer got that. Let's take out, not sure what the household size is there, Ignacio. I'm going to go with single. And you said 48K income. First-time home buyer. So we got 22 programs based on what I've approved, right? But you may have 7, you may have 25. It depends on what you have access to and what you're originating. But this tool allows you to figure that out for a specific consumer. Just as fast as I plugged all that in, you could be doing that right in front of a client while you're in your Down Payment Connect dashboard from the eligibility lookup. Now let's go back a step. The first sample, the first scenario was in Pompano Beach. So let's open up our filters here and let's get everything on a list. Let's just look for programs in Pompano Beach. Let's see what's even out there. And then we could start to say, okay, well, what do I have access to? Which wholesalers am I working with? Do I have access to any of those? Are there any local programs? What did I say? Pompano Beach? Yeah. So here we go. Let's not filter for anything else. Let's just look at everything in Pompano Beach and see what kinds of programs we even have access to. So we've got broker products. Broward County has a program, and you can see from the list here that is active. They have money up to $80,000, max price $382. Let's see, Broward County has a mortgage credit certificate that is also active. That's a tax credit. Super awesome programs. Those are definitely worth looking at if there's an MCC or mortgage credit certificate in your area. And you can see right here if it's an MCC. We tell you what type of program you're looking at. Whoops. Shinoa, a couple of tribal programs. The city of Pompano Beach has a program. Let's open this up. Okay, they're out of money, but let's look at eligible channels and let's see, okay, that's retail only. So if you're a broker, maybe that one's not available yet, but we can call on them and say, hey, you know what? Would you accept a broker? It might be the case. We try to do that with every program. I won't lie, it's an educational effort with a lot of these DPA providers trying to figure out their understanding of retail versus wholesale versus correspondent. Nonetheless, happy to update this if we find out that they'll allow brokers as well. So anyway, we're using the directory here now to see what kinds of programs are available in that market. There's all the state programs. And if we scroll down the list, there's the Housing Finance Authority of Lee County, which covers Pompano Beach. We've got some more broker products and Salidas House. So, and there's an IDA, a matched savings program for Broward County. Lots of different opportunities. This directory guides you as far as what's available in the market. And then if you go back to the eligibility lookup, once you've identified those programs you originate in the directory, the eligibility lookup tells you what that particular client is eligible for from among the programs you can originate. And we can do the same thing with the other example. Let's see, I don't know how to say this, Wimauma, Florida. Let's go to the directory and let's look that up. What county is that in? And let's see what kind of programs we have there. Hillsborough County, okay? So, and we might even, here's another thing. If they don't have an address in mind, and in your case they did, Susan, but if they don't have an address in mind, you might just come in here and say, well, show me everything in Hillsborough County. Because what if there's a DPA in a neighboring city and they're open to moving there if they can get $60,000 in down payment help? That could be a game changer and a difference maker and a decision criteria for that buyer. So let's look at all of Hillsborough County, and we'll get statewide programs, we'll get countywide programs, and maybe there's a city program as well. But you might want to step back up geographically one level and get a slightly broader picture, just in case there are very close, geographically close opportunities that might help them figure out exactly where they want to buy it. So City of Tampa, mixed in with the broker products, Tampa's Dare to Dream program, great program, been around for a long time. State programs, Housing Finance Authority in the Hillsborough County. So we've got a local Housing Finance Authority. And then on down the list, more broker products, Salidas House again. So lots of opportunities in Hillsborough as well. Let me scroll down and see if we had any other examples. I see some questions, so I don't see any other scenarios, but I see a lot of questions here. And actually, Mel and Tracy, if you don't mind, you've been monitoring chat. Any questions you want to pull out here? We've got maybe 10 minutes to cover them.
Hey, Sean, I don't think I have anything specific, honestly. We're just, we've shared the Down Payment Connect link, answering questions about subscriptions, but I don't see anything specific at this time unless Tracy has something to share.
No, I don't either. It looks like everything's getting covered that people are asking us about.
Okay, Susan, yeah, maybe try a different browser. Not sure what's going on there, but let us know if you have an issue. I did see a couple other, Pauline, yes, $39 a month for Down Payment Connect. That's per state. So if you're licensed in multiple states, it's going to be $39 per month per state. Let's see. Question, if they're bringing 20% down, they can still get this program and do all pay 1%, or it depends. The interest rate absolutely depends on the program. A lot of community seconds are 0% interest, potentially deferred, potentially forgivable. As far as if they're bringing their own down payment money, here's where there's one criteria. In fact, let's look at this in the directory. Hopefully I'll luck out and find a program here that has such a requirement. There is something called an asset test that some programs look at in terms of liquid money that borrower has available. If it exceeds a certain amount, that DPA provider may want to see the borrower's funds used toward down payment. If it, for whatever liquid money they have over X amount. So we call it an asset test. But basically, if they have, this would be a common scenario. DPA provider says, if you have more than $20,000 in liquid assets, not your car, not your 401k, but in checking, savings, money market, they're going to say anything over $20,000, we're going to want to see you put that towards the down payment of the house. And then, yes, you may still have access to our DPA program. So that's an interesting question, Susan. That's going to depend on the program. I did see a couple other questions. Susan asked at one point, I thought these DPAs used household income. That actually varies by program. Some DPA providers are looking at all income from any household occupant 18 years or older. So college kid with a part-time job. That's going to count in that scenario, right? But some DPAs look at 1003 income, where they're just looking at who's on the mortgage and what's their income. So it does depend on the program. And we do tell you that when you open up a program. Let's see, City of Tampa, borrower eligibility, income limits apply. Yes, based on compliance income, including household income. 140% AMI, here are the actual limits. So that's the kind of detail you'll see in the directory. Let's see.
Hey, Sean. Mark asked a question towards the end of chat about programs that he's not familiar with. And I've actually seen that question before. I just thought maybe that would be a good one to address.
Yeah, so, and I saw another one earlier. It was real early on. I was trying to find it. The question was something like, how do I connect with some of these DPAs? So here's the thing. If you're a mortgage broker, talk to your wholesale reps. Which wholesale companies are you working with, and what do they offer? What are they going to buy from you, basically? That's going to dictate what you have access to. As far as getting to know these programs, leverage your peers. Pam, I'm going to put you out on a limb here and say, call Pam. Her contact info is in the chat. Excuse me. So, but leverage your peers. You have peers that are very experienced with these programs and know what they're doing, know what's out there, have relationships with the program providers, which leads me to the second part of that. I'm going to go back to the City of Tampa program. Provider info. Here's contact information for the program provider. Call them, ask them questions about their program. Hey, what are best practices? Are there agents that you're working with that I could maybe have a chat with? Let them know I'm interested in this program. Call them and, hey, what are your tips for submitting loan applications? Is there something I need to be aware of so I don't create an obstacle down the line? But absolutely call the program providers. They want to help loan officers do these programs too. And then, of course, leverage your peers. Talk to real estate agents you work with. They may have some exposure or experience with DPAs, and that's who you want relationships with ultimately, right? So there are a couple ways to find out about these programs, in addition to all of the information you have in here. We're going to tell you exactly how this program works. You're going to have tons of information here, more than you may need, including links to the program providers' resources. So you've got all of our data, plus where we get it from, which is in part flyers, guidelines, product matrices, but also our relationship with the program providers. So leverage all of that. And then as far as picking what to choose or picking what to originate, back to your wholesale partners, or if you're retail or correspondent, talk to your product division, but talk to the people that make product decisions or are in charge of which products you have access to, and figure out which options you have. We're looking at 200 something programs in Florida. Just to be clear, you don't need those. You don't need all of them. Don't boil the ocean, basically. Figure out 1 or 2 or 3 in your market. And if you're doing business in a new market in 6 months, then find another DPA there, right? But find the couple of programs that work for you, get to know the program, get to know the provider, leverage your peers with experience, and talk to your wholesale partners or your product team. And in that manner, you'll quickly learn what you have access to and how to do them. Any other questions? We've got a couple. Actually, Pam, anything you want to add here to wrap this up? And I'll flip back to clients to homeowners.
Okay, thank you. Couple of things. I have just heard, maybe others of you through UWM, that Hometown Heroes is going to be available, I believe, to everyone after July 1st, not just to the essential workers. So that's going to be good news. They've got a good amount of DPA. I think the limit is even being increased $10,000. So we need to look into that. Also, Down Payment Connect updates these programs monthly. On their list of the programs that you see, there's a great big number in a blue circle. That is how long ago they updated the program with anything new, but they also get updates on these programs often monthly. And then the other thing I wanted to let you all know is the very first thing you want to do is check on the processing time that each of these DPA programs has. I've had experiences where programs are so popular, but the staff to process them is so short that they can sometimes take 2 to 4 months to process, and that's very few, but just be aware of that before you have a client sign a contract. And that's pretty much it. I'm excited about this and looking forward to the May 24th Brokers and Bagels on Zoom with Daniel Hughes. And everybody come with your thinking caps on. And if anybody's got any other questions, we can stay on for a minute or two. But thank you, Sean, and your team, Mel and Tracy. This has been awesome. And this will be recorded and will be on the Clients to Homeowners website shortly.
Yeah, again, Pam, thank you for putting this together. Putting a couple of links and some contact info in here. Just put our contact info and a link to Down Payment Connect. Pam, I'm going to grab yours, or Mel, maybe you're faster. I just want to make sure everybody's got Pam's information here. So here is, I'm going to put it at the top of the chat, clientstohomeowners.com. And Pam's email is clientstohomeowners@gmail.com. There you go. And yeah, Pam, again, thank you for putting this on. This is great. If anybody has questions afterwards, reach out to us or reach out to Pam. Happy to help you. And with that, I think everybody have a great day.
Thank you.